It's Cronkite News Friday edition, spring training style,
where the Cactus League takes center stage around the valley.
Welcome to the show. I'm Austin Scott.
And I'm Sammy Miller. We're going to kick things off with a tour of some of the spring training facilities. There are 10 sprinkled around the valley, home to 15 different Cactus League teams.
Right now we're at Peoria Sports Complex, home of the San Diego Padres and Seattle Mariners. Now it's one of the 4 ballparks in the West Valley, and it's also one of the oldest, built in 1994. It's a comfortable, old-style ballpark with some great food and some ample room for fans.
Further west is Surprise Stadium, which opened in 2001. It's home to the Kansas City Royals and Texas Rangers. It's a comfortable ballpark with ample parking, but it's a bit far from Phoenix and other areas most fans like to visit.
And then there's Goodyear Ballpark in the valley's far southwest, which is home to the Cincinnati Reds and Cleveland Guardians. It was built in 2009, and it's a great place for Ohio fans to escape winter and stay at nearby hotels.
Just down the road from Peoria Sports Complex is Glendale Camelback Ranch. Built in 2009, it's a new style with some great practice fields and some shade. So come with me now as we take a closer look inside Camelback Ranch.
Welcome to Camelback Ranch, the spring training home of the Los Angeles Dodgers and Chicago White Sox. The 14-year-old ballpark is known for its newer style with top-of-the-diamond practice fields and facilities and a fish-stocked lake that separates the two teams' facilities.
We just stay in our lane, they stay in their lane, and we really don't swerve into their lane. So, they're good, they're cool, and we're cool, so I think we enjoy sharing it.
One of the more unique things about Camelback Ranch are these. 10,000 of these rustic brown seats surround the ballpark, similar to some of the seats at Dodger Stadium. The different shades of brown around Camelback sort of give off a desert-like vibe that fits perfectly right here in the valley.
At nighttime it's different because, you can't really see those seats and everything, but like during the day when the sun is like shining on those seats and the color they are, it's kind of like tough to see in the field and everything, but it's like, but just looking at it like from a perspective, like as a fan, like it's a nice setup and everything, and it looks good.
I do like the practice areas at the ballpark. You can walk through the practice areas, easy to get autographs at the practice areas, both the Dodgers and the White Sox, much more accessible than a lot of the parks in the valley.
After the ballpark's first year, Dodgers fans started complaining because they couldn't get a Dodger dog at spring training. So ever since then, they've been sold at the ballpark. But does that mean a White Sox fan can get a Dodger dog?
I've got a Dodger dog. It's not as good as a Chicago dog, but it's a good dog.
So yeah, if you want a Dodger dog, a Chicago dog, some good access to players, or you want to get a swing of the desert in March, Camelback Ranch is a great place to go. In Phoenix, Austin Scott, Cronkite Sports.
This is Tempe Diablo Stadium, the oldest ballpark in the Cactus League, and with just over 9,000 seats, it's also the smallest. It's the home of the Los Angeles Angels, and it's just off the I-10 in Tempe. If you hit the I-10 and travel northwest, you'll get to American Family Fields in Phoenix, formerly known as Maryvale. Built in 1998, it's home to the Milwaukee Brewers, who spent $60 million in renovations back in 2019. It offers fans some of the best value in the Cactus League, as you can usually buy a seat in the shade for as little as $20.
Here in historic Old Town Scottsdale, there's lots to do, which makes it a very popular destination for tourists. It's also within walking distance of Scottsdale Stadium. So as you can imagine, this old school ballpark near Old Town is one of the most popular in the league. Let's take a closer look.
Welcome to Scottsdale Stadium, the spring training home of the San Francisco Giants. The stadium was built in 1992, making it the second oldest spring training stadium in Arizona. The 12,000-seat stadium is located in the heart of Old Town Scottsdale, making it the perfect place to watch a game on a Monday afternoon or Saturday night. And the fans know how to show up and have a good time.
When I think about it from a fan's perspective, it's a great place to kind of get out in the sun and have a hot dog and a beer. A little bit of a party atmosphere, which is fun. And yeah, overall, I think it's a great place to watch a game and play a game.
Once you grab your beer and hot dog, that's when the party starts. And it usually starts right out here on the left field grass, where you get a great view of the ballpark. No matter how sunny or windy it is, hundreds of fans make their way out onto the grass they grab their blanket, they take a seat, they sit back, and they enjoy the game.
Playing home games here, I think it's the best one by far with the crowd, and you know, it seems like it's got a whole club up in right field, so I think it's pretty cool. So it's fun to be a part of.
In 2020, the Giants and the city of Scottsdale decided to make a $20 million upgrade to the ballpark, adding a new stadium entryway, a revamp to the Charro Lodge in right field, and a top-notch training complex.
I mean, it's got everything you need, really. Giants do a great job of giving us whatever we need to do to get ready for a season, and it's nice because you walk right out this door here and the grass is 2 steps away and the field's right there. I kind of like that as well.
It has an old-timey feel on the outside and inside that is hard to find anywhere else, and it's in a great location for before, during, and after the game. So whether you are a Giants fan, a Scottsdale fan, or a party fan, it's safe to say that Scottsdale Stadium is a must-visit spot. In Scottsdale, Austin Scott, Cronkite Sports.
Sloan Park is the newest stadium in the Cactus League, built by the Cubs in 2014. It's a new style ballpark with an open concourse and a spacious outfield lawn, but it is one of the most priciest tickets in the league because the Cubs like to fill this entire stadium. The Cubs' former ballpark, Ho-Ho-Cum Stadium, is now home to the Oakland A's, originally built in 1997. The A's renovated it in 2015. It's got an old-school vibe to it, but its location in Mesa is a bit off the beaten path and not close to many restaurants and bars.
Now for the last stop on our ballpark tour, Salt River Fields. Now, it's unique in that it's the only ballpark in the Cactus League built on tribal land. Also, it's very common for sellouts on weekdays and weekends, so make sure to go grab your tickets. Now, let's go take a closer look.
Welcome to Salt River Fields, the spring training home of the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Colorado Rockies. Voted the best Cactus League ballpark by Baseball Digest and one of the 25 must-see buildings to see in all of Arizona by the Arizona Republic, Salt River is known for its immersive design and incredible viewing spots for fans.
Obviously, we have the big berm of grass out in the outfield, and then our hitter's eye is pretty cool with the 3 tiers and the cactuses, you know, going up the 3 tiers. It's pretty neat, but it's one of those ballparks that they did a really good job of designing for fan experience, and definitely pleases the eye as well.
One of the best places to watch spring training in all of Arizona is the Pepsi patio, an observation deck above the press box that gives fans a 360-degree view of all of the surrounding mountains in the valley and the ballpark itself. So, it's safe to say no matter which direction you look in, you can't go wrong.
Some of my people might think that I'm biased, but I think this is the best facility in baseball. I haven't been to, you know, a lot of the newer facilities in Florida, but I've been to all the facilities here in Arizona. I think this one stands out.
Fans also get great access to the 12 different practice fields and a stream of water right outside the main gate. Now once you're in the ballpark, you can grab a beer and go to the Pepsi patio, check out the garden, and like most spring training ballparks, you can go out to one of the 4,000 seats out in the grass.
It's good for the kids on spring break and stuff like that. Go, you know, spread out a blanket and kind of less formal than sitting in a seat at a game, so I like it.
So as long as you like baseball, like to take in incredible views, or just want to cross off this building from your tourist bucket list, Salt River Fields checks off practically everything from the checklist. In Scottsdale, Austin Scott, Cronkite Sports.
Hello, I'm Adrienne Farewell, General Manager of Arizona PBS. We've got so much going on here at the station.
I'm Catherine Anaya.
I'm Alberto Rios.
I'm Chef Mark Tarbell.
I'm Ted Simons.
We want everyone to know that their Arizona connection starts right here at Arizona PBS.
For over the past 60 years, Arizona PBS has told incredible stories of Arizona's distinctive people.
We got to start being more vulnerable with each other.
What I love most about being a Latina woman is the passion and drive that I feel.
Beautiful landscapes and treasured history.
We're doing something that benefits the community.
Good evening and welcome to Horizonte.
Welcome to Check Please, Arizona.
Welcome to the U.S. Senate debate.
The recipient of the Emmy is
Arizona PBS.
Now streaming on the PBS app. The definitive collection of documentaries from award-winning filmmaker Ken Burns.
Hemingway, the man, is much more interesting than the myth.
It is a story that Americans have to reckon with.
He's got my job. I'm the champ.
Discover over 40 groundbreaking films that bring our history to life. Stream the Ken Burns collection now with Passport on the PBS app.
My heart is racing right now.
Fasten your seatbelt.
You're uncovering the truth.
These are consequential things. Yeah.
Oh, look at everybody.
I feel the presence of all these people.
I've got history.
No.
I wish my ma could be here to see this.
Amazing.
It's like the most vital stuff, right?
Tuesdays on Arizona PBS.
No matter what team you root for, local baseball fans can always find a player or two who grew up in Arizona. Zach Woodard has more on the Chicago Cubs outfielder who grew up in Chandler but sharpened his skills at Basha High School.
With the additions of star players Cody Bellinger and Dansby Swanson this offseason, the Cubs are filling up their opening day roster quickly. One player looking to make that roster is their number 3 prospect Brennan Davis, who was drafted in the 2nd round by the Cubs back in 2018. Injuries have hindered his journey to the majors, but the promise is still there, as he was named MVP in the SiriusXM All-Star Futures game back in 2021, and he cracked the MLB's top 100 prospects list this year.
It's a nice gesture to the hard work that I put in, but ultimately I want to be a big leaguer. I don't want to be a prospect.
With Davis being drafted back in 2018, his professional career has not been long-lived up to this point. In fact, he spent most of his time in the minors across the country. However, playing in Arizona, he's no stranger to that. Born in Chandler, just 20 miles from the Cubs practice facility, Davis played at Basha High School. As a two-sport athlete, Davis helped lead the Bears basketball team to a state championship in 2017. After he fully turned his attention to baseball, assistant coach Kurt Popkin says he knew right away that Davis would play baseball for a long time.
He just blossomed. Had a great summer, came back and was just a different guy. Well, you could see the potential right away. I mean, he had skills, bat speed was quick, the ball came off the barrel, hard barrel contact in the cage. One of the hardest guys who've ever hit the baseball in the cage for me.
In his junior year, Davis and the Bears were upset in the 6A state playoffs. Coming back for revenge his senior year, Davis would find himself limited due to a hamstring injury, the first of many throughout his career, and he'd leave Basha without ever winning a state title. Head coach Jim Schilling says that Davis did not let that stop him, and he still performed as the top outfielder in the state of Arizona.
Because we were afraid of tweaking that hamstring, and he did tweak it a couple times. It definitely affected him, but he's a warrior and a champion. He fought through that stuff really, really well, and he actually was great for us as senior, even with a bad hamstring.
Davis is not the only Chicago Cub that is a product of Arizona baseball. New addition Cody Bellinger attended Hamilton High School, just 7 miles away from Davis and Basha. And although the two never got a chance to play against each other, the result of that could have been matchup seemed to be unanimous.
Oh, definitely the Basha Bears.
Cody had a good team when he was there, but you know, our Bears never lost to Hamilton when I was there.
We'd have won that series, absolutely.
In Phoenix, Zach Woodard, Cronkite Sports.
Fans love coming to spring training to escape the winter weather back home and usually come here to the valley and enjoy the gorgeous warm weather. But today it's a little rainy here at Sloan, but it just shows you that the weather here in the valley could be a little unpredictable. For more on the average sunscreen factor, I'll send it over to Peyton Major, who has more in the Cronkite Weather Center.
If you're catching a ball game this weekend, Arizona is the place to be. The Cactus League hosts spring training in Arizona, mainly because of our warmer temperatures. Obviously, it's going to simulate summer-like conditions for those baseball players to train in, so they're better prepared for the main season temperatures. There's also low humidity, so that means it's not going to be too hot. If it was 80 degrees and muggy, it's going to feel way warmer than here when it's dry and 80 degrees. March is also the perfect time to host spring training. The average high in Phoenix is 78 degrees. The average low is 55, and we usually have less than an inch of rain throughout the entire month. But of course, this month has been a little bit different. If you came to visit Arizona earlier in the month, you might have been a little bit surprised. It was a little bit colder than you were probably expecting. The blue here represents days that were below average, and red represents days that were above average. You can see mostly blue here. Last weekend we had a little bit of a warm-up, but Wednesday's storms sent us below average once again. And the 70s don't seem too bad, but like I said, it is below that climatological threshold of 78 degrees. So tomorrow, if you're catching one of these games, you can expect temperatures in the low 70s for the most part, be mostly sunny and a little bit breezy. The first pitch is around 1 p.m. And Sunday, very similar story. There might be a few more clouds in the sky and maybe a degree or two warmer, but same thing, first pitch is at 1 p.m. So with those midday games though, one thing you're definitely going to want to watch out for is the UV index. Saturday's forecast is a 6 out of 10. That means that the sun's most direct rays are going to be out between the hours of around 12 to 1 p.m., right when the game starts. You can also sunburn in 30 minutes or less if you're in direct sunlight. So you're going to want to pack a hat or sunglasses, definitely apply some sunscreen, SPF 15 or higher, find some shade if you can, and most importantly, stay hydrated. It's a dry heat, remember, so you're not going to sweat as much, so that means you need to drink more water in order to cool yourself down. So this is what this weekend looks like. 73 was the high today. Saturday and Sunday we're going to be in the low 70s, and Monday a little bit warmer. There is a very small, slight chance of some sprinkles in the morning on Saturday and Sunday, but don't let that steer you away from your plans. In the Cronkite Weather Center, I'm Peyton Major.
Let's take a peek inside a player's life for spring training. For Brandon Crawford of the Giants, he likes to have a little bit of fun with his style, and it goes way beyond just putting on the uniform. For Crawford, it's all about the accessories. Introducing 3-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champion, and big-time on-the-diamond fashion enthusiast, Brandon Crawford.
I had maybe a little bit of flair in the minor leagues. I think I started dabbling with it then, but definitely kind of started sticking with one look or style or whatever after getting to the big leagues.
When you look into the dugout during a game, all the players are wearing the same uniform. They all have the same fit, right? Well, not quite, and especially for Brandon Crawford, who's always rocking a different headband, a different arm sleeve, and a different pair of shoes. Not only is he the leader in the clubhouse, but he's also the leader in the swag department.
The one I'm wearing, Lucille, that one's a little more fun for the kids. I know that's their favorite. And then I like this one for spring training. Got the cactuses on it. I got the dunks right here, and these are the San Francisco Giants dunks. Got the kayak for the Cove. The Giants colors Griffies that I just started wearing. I got this off season and started wearing this spring.
We didn't touch on the hair, but I know it's a big part of the fashion, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a big part of my look. And this is typically what I use, the Johnny B mode styling gel.
He has a thing, it's very intentional. I don't know, it's 7 or 8 pieces of flair at least a game before he goes out, and that's, I mean, headband, wristband, arm sleeve, shoes. He's got it all. He's got the hair.
He's just Brandon Crawford, you know. It's easy to see him. He just has like it's the way he plays, right? So smooth and everything. It's the same thing he has with kind of fashion, and I mean, it's just clean, you know. That's the best way I could put it.
And some of his cleats are so good, sometimes Jock Peterson dips into the Crawford shoe collection.
He brings it with the cleats, so I appreciate that, especially when he's wearing mine.
Spring training is a great way to see your favorite players up close because there is rarely a bad seat in the house, and some are downright relaxing. And you don't have to worry about extra innings since these games don't count and often end in a tie.
This is Phoenix.
For over the past 60 years, Arizona PBS has told incredible stories of Arizona's distinctive people, beautiful landscapes, and treasured history. Now relive those memories we've pulled from The Vault. From The Vault is a compendium of the best local PBS programming has to offer. It's fun, it's history, it's you. From The Vault.
Hello, I'm Adrienne Farewell, and I'm proud to serve as General Manager of Arizona PBS. From Phoenix to the Grand Canyon, Flagstaff to Prescott, and everywhere in between, this station is the best way to remain connected to all that's going on in our beautiful state. So whether you're interested in arts, culture, and music to local politics and education, we've got you covered. You're watching Arizona PBS, and your Arizona connection starts right here.
Now on Passport.
What are you looking for in your life?
There's an important story that needs to be told.
Is it a sense of your own destiny?
Choose your story.
Try to help create change in some way.
It's a beautiful thing. Not very many people get to see.
Once you come into the neighborhood, you are a part of the family.
You can be a good person or a bad person. It's your choice.
Stop complaining and go actually do something.
Now you can stream even more documentaries with Passport on the PBS Video app.
I'm Chef Mark Tarbell. Welcome to Check Please Arizona. You picked this place. Tell us why.
It was just so cozy.
Anything you order there is going to be phenomenal.
I had the meatballs.
Garlicky in the absolute best way.
They were amazeballs. I was that person that went up to the salsa bar 4 times.
Not what I was expecting. Join me for the 10th season of Check Please Arizona. I'm getting hungry.
Find out what's on Arizona PBS at azpbs.org/schedule.
According to a Cactus League economic impact report, 6 out of every 10 Cactus League attendees are from out of state. And on average, they spend about 4 days here and spend around $405 per day. Our Noel Blumel has more on the economic impact for spring training.
For the first time in 4 years, spring training is back at full capacity.
Spring training is our largest tourism driver here, and so we obviously did feel an impact over the last 3 years without having a regular season.
Here in Arizona, the Cactus League has 10 facilities that host 15 Major League Baseball teams. The league draws in more than 1.7 million fans annually and generated an estimated $640 million in economic impact, according to the last study done in 2018. But between COVID restrictions and last year's lockout, the lack of a full season only allowed for a limited amount of fans and cut jobs in half.
So basically the percentage of season that we lost that was cut short was the same percentage that the impact was cut.
But stadium jobs aren't the only essential roles. In fact, most of the impact that comes during a sporting event is actually from the surrounding area.
So a lot of the jobs are placed with the hotels, the restaurants. There's a lot of part-time jobs that we hire for. I think people are just really looking forward to a normal season and getting back to baseball.
The return of spring training at full capacity doesn't just restore jobs and help the economic state of the 8 cities impacted. It also reminds everyone, especially young fans, of the unique and personal experience that no other sports preseason has to offer.
The best part about spring training is the accessibility. There's not a lot of places where the players walk out, with the fans, and you can have kids carry bats, have balls, they can play catch with the players. It's really incredible to see.
Cactus League executives predict numbers to return back to normal this season and encourage fans to come out and feel the excitement of spring baseball once again. In Phoenix, Noel Blumel, Cronkite Sports.
I am joined alongside the Executive Director of the Cactus League, Bridget Binsbacher. Thank you so much for sitting down and joining me today.
You bet. Thanks for having us.
So the Cactus League, it's known nationwide. Everyone knows and loves the history behind it, and there's 10 different stadiums with 15 teams. But how did it all begin?
Well, it began many years ago, 1947. The Cactus League organization was formed, and it was with 2 teams, the then Cleveland Indians, now known as the Cleveland Guardians, and the New York Giants, now known as the San Francisco Giants.
Like you said, it started so long ago, 1947.
Yes.
It's crazy to even think about what life was like in 1947. But where have you seen the biggest forms of growth and development in the league?
Just really our facilities. And there was a time in the late 90s, mid-late 90s, where the industry was really, Cactus League was in jeopardy. We had lost some teams, and our facilities were not, they weren't up to the standards of the league and the teams. And so there was an effort by our then governor to put together a task force, which was, you know, basically the birth of Prop 302 and a funding stream to build new facilities, renovate facilities. And so that is when the league really changed. And now it's become an industry all its own. But it's amazing to see you still have the intimate feel at these facilities. You can get up close and personal to your favorite teams and players and experience them like you can't during the regular season. That's probably what's so amazing.
And in your eyes, what makes the Cactus League so special? What separates it from any other league?
You know, again, only happens 2 places in the country, and of course, you know, Arizona, it's all about Arizona for me and for the Cactus League. We do it better than anyone because of, I think, the proximity of our facilities. So, you know, you can get from one end of our league to the other, from Surprise to Mesa, you know, in an hour. And so not only is that manageable for our teams, and, you know, doesn't create a lot of time demands for them, and they can focus on player development, which is why they're here.
Thank you so much for taking the time, spending it with you today. Wish you the best of luck for the rest of spring training.
Thank you. A lot to be excited about this year.
Thanks for taking a trip with us around the bases as we explore spring training in the Valley.
And as most fans will tell you, it's a home run for them every single year, and the best way to get ready for baseball's national holiday, opening day. We'll see you next time.